Hello, all of you. I'm sorry, I'm unable to talk your language. But maybe if somebody is not speaking English, there could be a translator. Somebody of you can come and translate. I don't know. It's okay. So we go further. Yes. So first of all, thank you a lot for all of you to organize that important meeting, to invite me, and hello to all my colleagues of University Women of Europe from Germany or from other countries. So now, women in Europe, making visible the history of their ideas, it's important. So now, where is the Council of Europe? I'm not going to talk about European Union, but the Council of Europe. 2 years ago, there were Russian Federation, no more. And with Russian Federation, there was only Belarus was not member, so we should be 48 people, country. And it's very important to be all together, to try to think together, to build a place safe for everybody, to have some law, understanding by the neighbor, and so on. So the Council of Europe, defending human rights and the rule of law, and for a lot of citizens, formed the Treaty of London in 1949. It was the idea of Winston Churchill, and Winston Churchill refused to have any economics. So, European Union, Treaty of Roma, 1957. So it's very important, the common judicial era, on over 200 treaties. And often there is a monitoring committee to be sure of the application and the evolution in the country of the treaty. That is absolutely crucial. And the most important, Convention on Human Rights, with the European Court of Human Rights, European Social Charter, Istanbul Convention on Preventing Violence and Combating Violence Against Women, and for us, European Charter on Education, Committee for the Prevention of Torture, and so on. And there is 4 pillars of the Council of Europe. The Committee of Ministers, they are the decision-making body, and the Parliamentary Assembly with all the local, national parliamentary people coming, them, discussing, working together. And now there is Theodore Roussopoulos from Greece as president. And they elect the Secretary General, and it is until next September, Marija Perizonik-Bevec from Croatia. And just on Monday, I've been elected the new Secretary General. It's a Swiss from Switzerland, Alain Berset. It seems great. We have the honor at the conference of the NGO, I'm going to talk about that, to have received and hear the 3 candidates. It was the same for the Commissioner for Human Rights. We are the only one to have these 3 candidates. And it's a new one who is Michael O'Flaherty. But we see that there is no more women elected. Important. The just past Commissioner for Human Rights was a woman. No, it's a man. And the Congress of Local and Regional Authority of Europe, a man has been just elected. I'm a bit like that on that question. And there is, I'm sorry, the most important for us, it's a conference of NGO. It is a 4th pillar, tendency under, and it is very important because all the NGO accredited at the Council of Europe are members. We are the only coordination of NGO in the world that have a real statute, and it changed everything. I've been the representative at UNESCO of my organization, but it's not at all the same. It was when I arrived in 2015, I've been elected at the Conference of Regions as gender expert and then vice president in charge of gender. It's absolutely incredible what you are able to do, what you are able to talk with the people, while you are able to push your idea and to try to have more result for women, because it is my task, women. So it was absolutely incredible, and the symbol of the CEO, and it's very important to know that the flag is the same for European Union too. And the Council of Europe, it's always in French and in English, and for this year, 75 years of the Council of Europe. And how to work with the Council of Europe. What is very incredible is when you work with the Council of Europe, where you are in a committee. By instance, I was going for the conference, and now I asked to come for University Women of Europe, and all the country must say yes. If they are not, you are not an observer. So I am now an observer, and what is incredible is the subject you can see, but only few subjects. And where you are a member of the committee, you can discuss on the topic. You can not too much take the floor, not too much, because you are only an observer and only for important things. But when you are really working with all that people coming, high functionary, or sometimes clearly the ambassadors sitting there, you see that what is for some political people, like for instance in France just now, it is not, hi, Europe. It's an incredible place where people are working together, thinking together, and writing recommendation, treaty, I don't know what, together. And there are quite a number from all the country, and that is the most important thing for peace. And when you stop that, and when you want to cut and be a small country in the world and not an important place to think together, it is really the past and the war coming back. So you see what is the important thing and how to promote rights. And the promoting rights is very so important that you can have peace and peace and peace again by any way in the Council of Europe. And around how we come, we were an international federation of university women, become graduate women international a few years ago, and we have been created after the First War. Peace and graduate women. Now, if we do the same, it'd be peace and doctorate women. But it was only 3 years of education. And the really education that stop women ignorant, they must take their part of the civil society, have some right and so on, you know that, and peace. And in 1980, the European Association asked the International Federation to take the accreditation to the Council of Europe. They sing, they discuss with the board, and they decide, no, we want to stay international. So at that time, we make a European Federation that I shared just now, which is University Women of Europe, and we obtained the accreditation, so in 1983. And it must be all that time before to have somebody be able to be elected to the Council of Europe. That was important. It's a very important step. You'll see why. And so now, to have that accreditation, it is important. So gender mainstreaming, that is an important place to think, to work with, and to do with everywhere. So there is some equality rapporteur in all the CEO structure. And when I arrived in 15, if there was not. So there was some training to try to obtain people. And I was in the first training. It was invite me. I was trained, but they were not. It was incredible to see how they were ignorant of everything of equality. But there were a strong will with the organization, and all changed. And when you have somebody able to make, a small all change, because he start to think with gender mainstreaming, to see with equality, and see change. So, knowing the social structure and international, recognize the structuring factor for different individual people and so on. So all the texts voted now by the Committee of Ministers and the other pillar, quite the all, are taking in visible the gender equality. And if they are not taking in charge, we are saying, hey, you forget. Because, by instance, I've been asking to be in 8, a small writer committee for treaty, recommendation, guide, and so on. So when they are not doing well, I say, It's why they put me there, because I know a bit of law, and because I am talking about equality, and I say, no, that is not a good thing. That is not a good thing for that task, and so on. So it's important to see how the civil society is inside, and how the civil society can act. And so, sometimes we need to show them that if there are glasses, it'd be better. And sometimes it'd be necessary at all. Promote the visibility of women in decision-making, in parity, through models that respect diversity and through gender statistics. Because in your country, in mine, gender statistics are not at a good level. Promoting education, STEM, encouraging girls to take an ambition, because the essential thing is to give ambition to girls. Mentoring for change. And history must be changed. The way you learn history is not the real history. We must write again all the history with the place of all the women there, and not, oh, there was a little woman there. It's only the exception. We have now some study. We have some very clear studies shows that, by instance, in the 19th century, we have a lot of I know the word, and before too. So the women have a small role, but they were there. But they are completely ignored, still again, in the history book. That is not acceptable, but it's difficult to obtain. Equal pay for equal job. Get women paid from November 3 to December 30. Get rid of sticky floors. Like Iceland, make pay inequality an offense. It had been voted in 14. And all the money diverted from women's work affecting the standard. And for that, I make some collective complaint against all the countries accepted for violation of the social charter. It was 15 countries. It was a huge work, quite like my thesis. But we win, and we obtain a tsunami in the states. Every state, not only the 15 who accept the collective complaint, and they said, oh, there are people fighting really against us for equality, for gender equality, for salary. We maybe, it's not only one person. It was an organization accredited by the Council of Europe, using the legal voice, the legal action to move on. They don't appreciate at all, but we win. And now they invited me again to talk about the collective complaint and the success it was. That is important. And they change, some countries, not all, the law. But that is the most important. The impact is there. So now I must work, it has been voted by our AGM, on new collective complaint on the violence against women. And it is a huge work, and nobody to help again. It's always like that. So Council of Europe, as a gender equality strategy, I work on that with them. And it is a third gender equality strategy. And you can see the 6 points. And it's important because the Council of Europe is really working on that. And that is an important, very important way to do. Now, equal job, equal pay, I've talked about. We are going to now the intelligence artificial. We have a problem with intelligent artificial. We have a problem, why? Because just now we know that there is some difficulty with that. There is an information action carried, there is artificial intelligence. Maybe you know that there is some BA of sex with the intelligence artificial, because the code are written by young or older white men, and they are put in the code, in the writing of the code, all the inequality of the society, because it's a wide. So voice assistant, virtual agent, chatbot, automatic translator are particularly stereotyped. Automatic translator have many more masculine occurrences than feminine. Speech recognition system work better for men with voice strategy due to unbalance of data use, and so on. And the difficulty, and we are there completely in your topic, we have not enough women in science. In France, in your country, in Europe, everywhere. We have not. We have not enough engineers. And when we have, they are low in the hierarchy. There are not a lot of director, a less president of society, and in the money of the firm, nothing. So the women are like that just now with intelligence artificial. It's the same. So we have a great problem because we are now with that in a very bad situation. So for men, it's good. And we have a difficulty with intelligence artificial intelligence. It's as there is a new treaty. The new treaty has been think and built European Union and Council of Europe. And there is nothing about BA of sex. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. They don't want to hear about what we have to tell them. Nothing. So the Council of Europe has decided to make a recommendation on the topic. But it's really completely stupid to have an important treaty and nothing about that. So you see, we must fight again and again, and we have not all the results we want. And for the civil society generally, all the ads they want to put have been refused. So there is a problem. Education at the Council of Europe. So you can see what they want, and there is a charter on education. But for myself, I'm not working a lot with that because I'm not the time for do it. And but now together you must know that all is possible, and you see what respects the fundamental rights of women, because it's always a necessity to respect them and to tell again. Stop feminicide, preventing violence, using AI respectfully and for common good, education, train-led, critical life, and so on. And now I want to talk about you because it's important for us, the European Institute of Cultural Roots. It had been launched in 1987 with currently 41 member states of the Council of Europe. And I hear about that, a cultural role by somebody work with Charlemagne. Charlemagne, Paderborn, there's a link. And I talk with him and I say, but is there anything on women? A cultural word on women? He said, I never heard that. There is 45 words, so I take contact with intercultural words. They say, no, I take contact with other people and say no. And first of all, I say, oh, we could make a word of Marie Curie. And after Marie Curie, everybody knows her. She doesn't need her. But I have the idea to make a cultural word of woman. Women of Europe. And I propose to my board, and they immediately accept, to make an award called Biography of Women. Because if you want to make a cultural word, we must have the history, the story of the woman. And now, for the past, you are there. For now, I am there. So, you are going to take your computer, your pencil, and you are going to write all your biography, or the biography of your mother, of your grandmother, of I don't know what, you're the friend of your I don't know what, and then you send us. And I must tell you that the woman biography we are launching for the third time, and before it was only in French, it was in French and France, because it was not France only, it was, but in French, and now with a translator, you write in the language you want, translation, deeper, or I don't know what. We don't care the real marvelous writer. We don't care. We want stories. And I've been there and discussed with the Secretary General, and she said, what a great idea, I support. So we have the partnership, no money, but it's important to have the Secretary General is supporting the action, so sponsor it. I am not very good to get money, I'm sorry for that. But so the prize is to be published. We have an editor in France, and he's always okay. So I must tell you that the first prize was incredible because it was a scientist. The first prize was Elisabeth Kohl, an Hungarian young girl after the First War, biologist, who want to make a postdoc in Alaska on the flower of on the ice, and she was helped by the people of International Federation of University Women, and I am the president of the jury, and we give the prize to Elisabeth Kohl, and I invited the ambassador of Hungary to come to give the prize, and the year after, I met at the Council of Europe the ambassador of Hungary of the Council of Europe, and I have nothing to talk about with him, so I talk about the contest, and I said, do you know? And he knew our contest, he knew Elisabeth Kohl, and he told me that there was a big manifestation around her since that time. So, you see, we are sometime here, sometimes. So, the prize, but our fund of University Women are going to send to all of you, and the contact is bio, there is an AFDU, because AFDU, the French, is helping us. So it's under the patronage of Mrs. Maria Bezionik-Burick. Now, there is a new Secretary General. I must go again and ask him again. But if you refuse, I say, you are against women. Now, there is another thing that's going to be interesting. A few months ago, there was the Council of Europe and the delegation of European Union to the Council of Europe, the Netherlands and United Kingdom ambassador have decided to choose 70 women which have marked the 70 years history of the Council of Europe. And this Monday, at the Council of Europe, during the holding of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, its President, Secretary General, the representative of the European Union, and so on, have opened the exhibition dedicated to us, because I am one of them. I am become an important woman of the Council of Europe. I am one of the 65 women. I was very surprised, very honored, and very pleased. So, invisible woman, femme invisible, you know that. And I've taken the time to to take some photo for you. Yeah, you don't see a lot. And some incredible woman was nominated. Catherine Lalumière, France, first woman Secretary General of the Council of Europe, former minister and former vice president of the European Parliament. Siofra O'Leary, just now, Ireland, the first woman president of European Court of Human Rights. Tarja Aloen, Finland, president of Finland. Anne Brasseur, Luxembourg, former president of the Parliamentary Assembly. Liane Maury-Pasquier, Switzerland. And Marie Pejnov-Burik. And I know all of them. When we were with University Women in Finland, we have the pleasure to hear Tarja Aloen explain us how the education become well in their country for school children, and she was very interesting. So I look on my photo, and because there is, second column, and maybe there is not everybody, I don't know, and I put the German woman, Elinor von Puttkamer, first woman ambassador, Angelika Nosberger, you know all of them, Leni Fischer, 3. And there is Feride Akar, member of our organization, former president of CEDAW and Grevio. She's incredible. And Marie Robertson, she used to be member of our association as Dean of the Trinity College, and she's the first woman president of Ireland and former United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights. So you imagine how proud I am to be with that sort of woman. And I'm that with the executive secretary of the Social Charter, and you see, just first it's me, and there is a photo of Dunja Mijatovic, Bosnia and Herzegovina, first woman to be elected Commissioner for Human Rights. So, with the Secretary General, and I thank you a lot, and hope you understand, and I am at your disposal for any more further information if you want. So, thank you.